Brilliant. How fab. How is everyone?
Yeah,
Good?
good. Yeah.
Excellent. You know what? It's such a joy. Every week, I know that there's people out there like me, and they're
Yeah.
doing their thing, they're doing their magic, and I get to catch up on your individual kind of magic that you're doing, basically, and get to hear all those kind of good stories. So, and then obviously, I get a chance to waffle on about me as well, but not for hopefully too long. Um, So yeah, it's been absolutely, as Jane will know, it's been an absolutely humdinger of a month. We've got loads of really good positive news to share with people. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to kind of sharing that with you guys this week. Have we got any new people on the call, Jane? Just wondering whether to run the intro, PLC intro. Yes.
Yeah, it looks like we've got some. So
Yep.
Yeah.
just keep waffling on a minute and I will
Okay.
find the intro.
Well, hello, I'm new, but I watched the recording, so I've seen the intro.
Oh, hi,
Yeah.
Tatiana.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hi.
Hi. Yeah. No. Oh, good. It's nice to see some new faces. And actually, it's a kind of reflection of what's going on at the moment, which is great because actually, I think it's got tough enough for people to go, hang on, I don't want to be part of this madness. Is there anything else out there for us, sort of thing? And here we are. Ta-da! This is what kind of organized anarchy looks like, really, in a way. It's very loving, kind anarchy. It's not the kind that just sort of smashes up streets and houses and sets fire to things. It's completely the opposite kind of anarchy. And obviously, the word anarchy just means without government. Without government over you, and that's what we try and encourage here. Your own individual self determination, your own choices. You know. Not being coerced into things that you don't like, or if you're finding yourself in situations you don't like, hopefully helping you with the sort of information and tools to get out of that situation so that you can sort of shape your reality going forward into a better, more kind of more loving, more harmonious kind of situation for you as the individual. So that's kind of the gist of what we do here. We're helping people kind of make mindset shifts, but without any kind of doctrine or ideology saying you should do this or because that would be just repeating exactly the same thing as everyone else is doing. It's going back into that hierarchy and the leaders thing. Whereas actually, we're all, if you like, we're all sharing the same fire. We're all making those collective decisions based on what our hearts are saying, really. And it's as simple as that, really. And it's what kind of unites us all rather than kind of looking at what separates us all, because actually, if you think about it, we've got more things uniting us all together than we do that separate us. So it's just a case of helping people at their own pace come through from that sort of old sort of way of thinking, that 3D kind of realm where you're put upon, and it's you're victimized and you feel victim, or you feel you've got all these sort of energy entanglements that are taking your energies away from you, harvesting them from you. So it's really about kind of helping you gain control again of your own kind of destiny, really, and finding your kind of true calling, really, which makes you do things for love, and it's a passion, and then it's not even a job. It's a kind of vocation that you like to do for life. So yeah. So have we got the okay? So I'll button
So
up now, and you can hear my.
Tatiana's seen it. Has everybody seen it? Anne Marie, have you seen it?
Have you seen the intro, Anne Marie? You're on mute. Yeah.
Yes, sorry. I think I have a long time ago, but I know Alan hasn't.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll run it for. I'm
Run
trying
it
to make a
through.
shorter version. So
All right. I will share it now.
okay.
Sorry, I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Okay.
So welcome everyone. Welcome to the PLC for all you new arrivals. If you really kind of want to come out of the matrix, and you know, you're in the right place. This is really a new sort of frontier, and we're setting up this lovely holistic society around the world. And so there's loads of new opportunities for people to bring their skills, talents, vocations, visions, frequencies into the mix, and you know, co-create some wonderful things. So positive living communities is basically we help people build hubs around the world. We've got all these different benefits. Essentially, it's a holistic template where you have a community hub, you have a health hub, you have an enterprise hub, a lawful hub, and a resources hub, all in one big juicy PLC hub. So there's all sorts of different aspects to it. Essentially, what it is, it's an area that you set up either indoors or outdoors. It could be in one building, in one room, like a community hall, or it can be in several buildings, or even tents if you want to set it up in a field, maybe when the weather's better. So yeah, and within that are those 5 hubs, and really you're at the centre of that. So all these hubs work for you. They help you to find your vocation. They can help you with health advice, community advice, also resources that we share with people, and lawful advice as well to help you resist those unlawful claims, etc. So yeah, essentially, we've got various packages or various kind of ways of doing things. We use Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which is a good way of looking at that sort of whole human and what a human needs effectively. And then to help people kind of uncouple from the kind of the matrix, the slavery matrix, and find their own kind of vocation, we use Ikigai, which is a sort of Japanese philosophy, and really it's essentially 4 questions that we ask people to answer. And from those answers, hopefully we can find a sort of cluster or a role or a true life calling that they can get paid for and that they love to do and that they're good at. And also the world needs. So, you know, also there's other resources such as the learning journeys and various other supplementary kind of data as well. So yeah, we do calls each week. This week it's the public calls. Next week it's the members calls. So it's lovely to have you join us. And yeah, we offer advice, basically how to get your hubs together, you know, particular issues, etc., with the members, and also for people who are just coming into to this sort of holistic alternative way of living. We kind of help people and guide them to understand what that's all about, really, because it's lots of new terms, lots of new concepts. And so yeah, coaching and advice for people coming out of the matrix into that sort of holistic society, and coaching and advice for people who already got their hubs up and running and are doing a marvelous job, and you know, may need some support and advice on certain issues like team dynamics, etc., or mindset shifts and things like that. So, or even how to run, you know, the hub in ways that are more kind of supportive for each member. So part of that, we've got the 2 learning journeys. We've got the one for the individual to help them come out of suffering. It's really finding your own freedom. I put a chap there with a silver suit and a foil hat, just to emphasise he's owning his freedom, and he's strolling across the street in his golden bubble of light, fully in charge of his life and living the dream. This is really it's jovial cover, but actually it's quite serious. You know, it's actually helping a lot of people to come out of the suffering that they're in, or the situations that they're in that are causing them suffering. And a lot of that is a psychological issue or a circumstance issue. And so it's really important to help people find their own resilience and empowerment, really. So that's that learning journey for the individual. But also we've got one for the community as well. So if you want to co-create a community of people, how can you do that on a harmonic level, on a loving, kind, unity consciousness level? Because obviously there's lots of dynamics with different people involved, and that's really good as well, because it helps you to sort of find that common thread that unites you all, and help you to build your communities together, and become more resilient and more resourceful and have more options. So those two journeys are really good if you want to go through those are great. We give advice and coaching on those as well. So really, yeah, this is actually extending each month. Really, we've got more and more people we're finding are similar-minded, community groups, holistic groups, just getting on with it really. And we're affiliated with the People's Food and Farming Alliance, the People's Health Alliance. We're also food ambassador for Food Finders Hub UK. I also run Stand in the Park as well, so we're linked with Stand in the Park. We've got Free Energy Nationwide, which is brilliant. They help to replace meters and things like that. And then so we've got Nourish Network as well. They grow food and support their community with the food. We've got Star Teachings Protocol. That's my other website. And we've got Inspirations PLG, which is the lovely Jackie White's group, Positive Living group. And we've also got the Blandford Community, Holistic Community group there as well. That's just a local holistic group, lovely group there. And there's many more, around the world. I've just put this up just to kind of give you an idea that we're sort of interconnecting with loads of different groups and networks, and they're all kind of really positive and really actually making a difference, and not kind of, really being part of the old ways that control and full of hierarchy and all those horrible things. So yeah, as part of that, we offer a hub starter kit for people who join PLC. It's literally from scratch. What do you do to create a hub, a local community hub in your area with your community? Literally, if you have no idea, this is a good starter kit, because it helps you from dot to do sort of various practical things to get your group of people together and start, forming an idea of what you want to do. So that's just been released, and we've also got the Hub Starter Kit 2. 3-month members, you get a Hub Starter Kit 2, so that's a bit more detail about. That's once you've got your group together and you're meeting regularly, what sort of things can you do? So group activities, and various other things. I don't want to give it all away, so you'll have to become a member to see what it's all about. And we're just actually, I'm working on Hub Starter Kit 3, which is for the 6-month members as well, because then there's a sort of progression really as you gather your tribe, and that develops. You also kind of have to take on more different kind of dynamics really, and so that's helping with that. So yeah, this is like the hand of love poking its way out towards you through the horrible slavery matrix of material world of lots of NPCs and lots of narcissists and all those horrible people. We're reaching out to you and saying there's a brilliant community of loving, kind, expanded consciousness people who are really just getting on with it and trying to be conscious about what they're doing, and just trying to make things better for themselves and other people. So please, it would be such a joy to have you as members and help you out. So please have a look at the website and see if you'd like to become a member. So am I back now? Yes, good. Well, that was a bit waffly. I think I could do that in about half the time, but there's a lot of information to go through. So, and at the time, we kind of wanted to get it all out so you get a good overview of everything. So yeah, I'll try and shorten that, but also try and keep most of that information. And also things have evolved as well. So, we've got the Hub Starter Kit 3 and various other things as well. And yeah, part of that, Well, actually, I'll save that to the end. Let's go around everyone and see how everyone's week has been, because that's the bit that's fun for me as well, rather than me talking all the time. So Anne Marie and uh, and Chap, hello, hi,
And Alan.
Alan. We met at
Yeah,
the
that's
Shine.
right. The Shine thing, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
cool.
the
We did.
How's your week been? How's it been since the Shine is finished for you?
Yeah, very good. No,
It's been amazing. Absolutely amazing. Um, Lots of incredible things happening, synchronicity, confirmation of what we're doing. We had some quite profound stuff this morning, didn't we? That was quite good and very encouraging. So we're just going to keep with it. I'm having to let go of a lot of stuff, which is what I'm doing now, in order to move forward. But that's just like a normal thing, you know. I'm just having to go through a process, really. So that's what I'm doing now. But I've got plenty to look forward to, really.
Absolutely, it's a case of kind of unlearning really and letting go of stuff that you'll sort of realize you're holding on to. But the trick is kind of realizing what you're holding on to first, and then realizing whether it's good or bad, and then kind of if it's not good for you, trying to actually clear that and remove that. So good on you for doing that, because that will clean your vessel and that, like you say, nature abhors a vacuum, so that will allow more stuff to come in, which is of a higher frequency as well. So that's really good, and that's kind of hopefully what everyone's doing here as well. They're kind of working on themselves, and it's a constant learning journey as well. But if you've got supportive people who are not judging you and want you to succeed, kind of thing, like we all are, then it's a completely different sort of process. It's not through kind of stress that you're having to do that. You're doing it through more support sort of thing. So yeah, good on you for doing that.
Thank you.
And Anne Marie, how's your week been? Has it been good?
Yes, very good. Yes, same really. We are learning to let go of the past in order to move forward. I think that's a big one for us at the moment.
I think that's going to come in quite a lot as people shift into the high frequencies.
Yeah.
They're no longer putting up with any of that nonsense anymore, and they're realizing, actually I can control and shape my destiny rather than having it put upon me, sort of thing. So yeah, brilliant, good stuff. And if we can kind of support you with any information or along the way, then that's what it's. And likewise, if you can kind of share your info and knowledge as well with people on the call, that's what it's all about. There's that lovely cross pollination with knowledge and pulling each other up, sort of thing. So fab. Thank you, guys. Shareva, how are you? How's your week been?
Good. Classes have started. So every night I have either a class that I'm taking or teaching. Yeah, I'm also kind of, dealing with stuff. So figuring that out is on my mind, but it's all good. It's all good, realizing that you're constantly being challenged and having to grow and stretch.
Yeah, it's a tough one because a lot of the time people are very comfortable in the situations that they've been in, but those kind of situations aren't necessarily making them grow or sort of pushing them forward. So it's a case of but doing it at your own pace. No one should be forced into change by an external source. It should be always driven from internally. And if you just go at the rate that's right for you to make that transition or that push that forward, and then you're not doing it under duress or anyone else's behest, sort of thing. And hopefully that that will then, in your own timing, will have more deeper meaning and a longer lasting effect, sort of thing. So yeah, it's a funny old world at the moment. There's so many swirling energies, and if you look at all the kind of stuff on the news and you know, it's just absolute nonsense, you know, all this stuff. And it's not even worth entertaining or talking about, because it's just completely devoid of any of our kind of input. We're just kind of absorbing it, and we have no kind of control over what's being presented to us other than switching it off. So that's kind of, I've you know, exercised that filter quite nicely. So yeah, well, just, you know, keep moving forward, and, you know, taking stock, and kind of grounding as well, you know, and yeah, and hopefully, you know, things will lighten up and become a bit kind of more fluid, you know, more for you, sort of thing. So yeah, thank you for that. Thanks, Sharova. So hi, who we got next? Claire. Claire, is that right? Yes, Claire. Hi, Claire. How are you? You're on mute.
Mute, unmute. Hi, Matt. Hi. Yeah, it's been a while. I have to say before I talk a little bit about me, I absolutely loved your long post today. It really, really hit the nail on the head.
Oh, what, the crystal grid one?
And about the discernment, and you know, that is exactly where I am at the moment. So many horrible, you know, really tough stuff's happened in the last few months. I would say since the solstice, that period of time. And yeah, have I grown up big time. I ended another narcissistic relationship.
Good.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And how do you feel from doing that? Because that's quite interesting to explain that.
I was shocked to begin with that this highly spiritual person who I'd been supporting through unimaginable grief at losing her son for the last 4 years, just, well, not overnight, it was slow, but just started to turn and attack me, and accuse me of things. But I know I recognized the symptoms because I've been there before. I was in a very long-term narcissistic relationship before, and so I recognized the reaction in me, and what happens in me is I shut down. So then you get accused of changing, and what's wrong with you, and you know, and the noise in my ear was getting louder and louder and louder. And so finally I listened, and you know, she overstepped the mark just one time, but I just didn't respond. I haven't responded through any of what she was sending my way. But the feeling of freedom and of empowerment, self-empowerment, why have I waited nearly 69 years to learn this particular lesson? Well, I know, because you know, everything comes to us when it's meant to. But it was, and it's been a series of things. It's been a lot of stuff with the family as well going on. But do you know what? I feel so tall and upright and strong. And I know without conviction why I'm here, which is just to be and anchor the light. But now I'm actually walking my talk, because, you know, I don't have to do what anyone else wants me to do. I don't have to please anyone else anymore except myself. But it comes from a deep love of and understanding of who I am. That's love. But so your post was, it just spoke to me, but also so many people I know going through the same thing, because what also this situation has released me and made me able to do is to do what I set the intention for this beginning of this year, is to go around and connect face to face with all the lovely like-minded people that I've met all through lockdown, and that's been phenomenal. I've had the most incredible synchronistic meetings, but that happens every day, all day anyway. But now I know I'm making a difference.
Brilliant. You're actually living in your light, your true light, which is brilliant.
I am. And I know, and I can feel it, that, and there's no ego in that.
No, exactly. It's just source, so that's pure love. So there's no ego in that.
Yeah.
And if you can feel that love from source of yourself, for yourself, then you're just literally beaming that out to other people.
And you know what, Matt? There is no effort involved.
Yeah, it's divine, so it falls into place.
Yeah,
literally.
It absolutely does. Still can't connect with Star Family, but
we'll get there. We'll get you there. That's lovely to hear. I love things like that, because then it helps other people who are, say, further back down the line, in that pit. It's a kind of ladder out to say, hey, there is life, there is new, fresh breath of air and new lease of life after oppression and things like that.
I think the biggest learning for me is that, because I've been in this situation 4 times in my life now I've learned my lesson. Do you know what? All these years that I've had this white noise buzzing in my ear, as soon as I said no and stood up, it's gone. Because now I know I'm actually listening. Because there's no noise when you listen.
Yeah.
And exactly. I thought it was the other way round.
No, silence is deafening. Actually, if you become that still lake,
I love it.
Any kind of thing landing on it, you get to read its energy, but you don't necessarily have to apply yours to it.
And that beautiful, beautiful feeling of stillness and peace. I do gift myself as many times as I can is to go and walk in the woods. Yeah. Because it's just magic.
Yeah, because you're getting all those natural divine truths, because nature is divine truth. And it comes from those frequencies,
And light language is just pouring out of my mouth. I've absolutely no idea what I'm saying, but I trust.
Well, that's the flow of the universe coming, because you reversed your field. You've now, taken away those blocks and stuff like that, and you're allowing that flow to come through you, and and that's increasing your light, and that's giving you that kind of feeling of well-being, isn't it, really? That intrinsic connection to source and the heart. So amazing. Thank you, Claire. I really appreciate that.
That's all right. Thank you.
I'm so glad that my articles are quite nuanced, because I'm not really having a go at anyone. I'm saying these sorts of practices aren't necessarily good, because they make people look external and distract them, rather than kind of making them look at themselves. Sort of thing. So it's a kind of.
And I can see, because I can feel the energy of the people that view your posts, and I can feel that sometimes people's backs are up because they don't understand.
Yeah, I'm prepared for that. That's fine.
But when you understand what you're saying, it makes perfect sense. So I'm really appreciative of that.
Okay. We are the gems, we don't have to plant them in the ground. We can move around and resonate and lift up those locations. And
it also absolutely explains to me why, although I've got a large crystal collection, I don't connect with them.
Yeah, some you will, some you won't, because you evolve, and crystals themselves are beings, so they evolve as well. So
of course.
You have to kind of they're like friends and family. You have to be in your life regularly, that you have to kind of connect with. Otherwise, they'll just be sitting there on the shelf, dead and lifeless, sort of thing. So, connect with the ones and maybe pass on the other ones that you don't connect with.
Give them on. Yeah, I'm down your way on Saturday. I know I've sent you a couple of messages.
Give us a shout. What time are you thinking? Because
it should be about 4:30, 5 p.m. after
that
Tim's
should be right. Yeah,
meeting.
Meet up for a cuppa. No problem.
Should we meet up where we met last time?
The Crown. Great. I'll get back to you on the email. Thanks,
Thank you.
Appreciate that. Jane, lovely Jane. Moving on to you. How are you all? How's your
Fine,
week?
thank you.
Mhm.
Yes. Trying still to sort things out, and I'm trying to spend as much time outdoors. It was just so lovely to have that week in the open air.
Yeah.
So I'm just spending as much time as I possibly can outside, gardening and just connecting with nature. It's just, I just don't want to kind of let that lovely
Don't want the summer to end,
lovely
do you?
I know, lovely feeling go.
We had such a blast, didn't we? We went
We
up to the
did.
Shine last week. Was it last week? Yeah, it was last week.
It
My
was,
God.
yeah.
Yeah. We saw a UFO on the way coming out of a Stargate. We spent 4 days in beautiful nature in the open air, in loads of sun. We called in, star family in the evenings and saw shooting stars. And we were with, so many lovely souls who are like us, who just want to be, themselves and create their own kind of realities that are loving and kind and connecting with other people. And it's such a joy that people like Eli puts on an event like that. There's a load of organisation, a load of money, a load of stress and stuff to get it all organised. And then, when you find yourself there, it's just like it's just how it should be. It's just pure joy, because he's provided this lovely field, this sacred space where people can just be themselves. They can learn from the different talks. They can do practices that people are showing them. They can get some healing as well from people in the tents and things like that, and the different practices. They can buy products as well that can help them heal, and they can listen to nice live music. They can have nice food. It's just, I can't fault it. It's just generally an all-round thoroughly good thing. And it's lovely to see the people that are drawn there, because they've done the work, a lot of them, and they've got the right attitude about where they want to go in the future and what they want to co-create with us. So it's effectively, it's like a kind of live PLC event in a way, because it's bringing people together from all kind of zones in the community, or with all skills and specialisms. And speaking of which, actually, Eli came down the week after and saw me with Amanda, and they took us to Gaunt House to recce this potential event in spring. And we went there, and it's like a retreat, and it was really low vibe. It was like this Victorian asylum building, or kind of Victorian school kind of thing, and then these grounds. And they were so, and you notice things like, for example, they had a lawn and everything, and then they'd cut a big circle out of it because they were going to put a bonfire on there. And then they had this water sprinkler sprinkling all around this bonfire that they were going to start in the evening. But it was spraying all the kind of logs that people would sit on, so you'd have a wet bum from sitting on a log around a damp, kind of grassy kind of ring around a bonfire. Not very kind of cool and not very relaxing. And then there's these kind of wounded warrior kind of people banging drums in the tent, going, kind of thing. It was all kind of a bit miserable. And then finally Amanda said to me, well, have you seen the workstation, the wash station? There's like a sink there. They'd actually tied up their Ecover hand wash to the sink, as if someone's going to nick it. Steal the Ecover. It's that expensive commodity. All these little niggly signs about paranoia or fear or, commercialism. And that was supposed to be a retreat where people were relaxing. I actually went there and got a bit kind of like, oh, I don't want to be here kind of thing. So it wasn't, and they agreed. And not only that, they had ticks in the kind of surrounding woodland. So I was thinking, this is really not selling it to me. You have to negate the kind of ticks issue, because people will be talking about that. There is no talk of that at the Shine. No one's even worried about ticks, because it was a nice, lovely field, and that isn't an issue. So there's all these things. But he was saying he wants to put on an annual PLC, live PLC community hub. That's going to be absolutely amazing in probably April, in spring. So I want to get everyone together who's PLC, and we're going to have the 5 zones. We're going to have specialist people. What we want to get some good, fairly well-known people to actually be in those different hubs, those different zones. Some healthcare and doctors, and people who have gone into the alternative alternative community, and the same for people with in the enterprise zone, people in the lawful zone helping with lawful advice, people in the community hubs giving information on things like homeschooling or different growing initiatives and things like that. So it's going to be an absolutely amazing thing to come into a huge marquee and see kind of like 5 kind of zones around the outside, loads of tables and chairs and chill out kind of stuff in the middle where you can sit and chat and connect with people, and a cafe, and that's pretty much it. We could hopefully, it'd be nice to encourage you guys to bring your produce so we can have food swaps, or bring the things that you can make so that you can barter or sell them as well in there. So that's part of the enterprise, the market, and the community. So there's loads of potential, and I'd love all you guys to come along. Unfortunately, I haven't got a date or a location yet, but as soon as I do, I'll put it out on the PLC network, if you like, and get loads of people together, and we'll show them how it's done. Basically, this is a community hub, heart-based unity consciousness, people supporting each other, help and advice, and friendships made along the way. Simple pimple stuff. So I'm looking forward to that, and of course I'll keep everyone updated on it as well. So, but Jane, wasn't that a blast?
Yeah, it was fab. It was absolutely fabulous. Yep. So all good. All
Yeah.
good. I've spent the rest of the week, apart from being out in nature, I've been making plum jam and knitting up onions to hang them up, and just catching up on what took over while I was away. So yeah, all good.
And your
I would
daughter's
I would love to ask, for those of you who went to the Shine, who was your favorite session?
Oh gosh.
apart from me, of course.
Apart from you, yes, chatting with Matt was wonderful. Alan and Anne Marie, what did you?
It's difficult to say because for me,
So many.
because there were
many.
loads of speakers, and they all had some really interesting subject matter. So it wasn't like one person stood out particularly for me, but I don't know about you guys.
I'm going to be biased, and I'm going to say Alan, of course. But there were so many, like Nikita, April talking about Akashic Records.
Who was the one that we saw with the I'm sorry, please forgive me.
Jackie White,
Jackie.
talking about Ho'oponopono.
And it all fitted into place. I mean, the 8/8 was the most mind-blowing day I've ever had.
Yeah.
Completely straight, with just natural. It was it was just incredible. All the speakers were lined up. It just fitted, pieces in like a jigsaw puzzle that made sense. That was what it was like to me. You've got this jigsaw puzzle, and whatever suits you, you seem to be able to find. And then when you come away, you've got a much more complete picture of yourself and what you needed to know before you arrived there. And that to me was what the Shine event was all about, really.
Well said. And Eli actually says that it's about this year was more about the speakers. Before, the last year was more about the attendees, but because kind of numbers were down, more emphasis went on the speakers. But that in turn then gave a bit of richer experience to the attendees. So what was nice about that was that he was sort of emphasizing the talents of those individual speakers and really letting them shine, and that was what it was all about. So I think that collective heart field of all of us shining together, you could really feel it. You could really feel those loving, joyous energies combined, sort of thing. So Yeah, really good, and I'm looking forward to the next one as well. He wants to do a good life, so thing as well, to do with how to live, well and stuff like that. So I'll keep you guys posted. So thanks, Jane. I want to move on to Tatiana and Christine. So and to Joe.
And
Joe,
Joe.
hi. Shall we go to Joe next? Hi, Joe. You're on mute.
That was quite sudden. uh, uh,
How are you? How's your week
well,
been?
you know me, Matt. I'm a man of few words. So shall we go into but one thing has been really interesting, and Alan said something that was so meaningful, and even with Claire when she said, I'm not connected to the I forget what the word was, but each time you use a word like that, um, I find that the neuro-linguistic programming is so important. When Alan said it's been, and it's been a rough time having to give up all of this stuff. But as soon as you start using those words like it's been a rough time or whatever, instead of saying, changing it to a positive. And for me, that's really, really important. And many of us, me included, always think that, we're creating this Bayeux tapestry of life, and people paint in the heart and the brain, everything. But the person that paints in the chateau under the feet is just important as everybody else.
Well said. Yeah.
So it's really, really been an amazing, amazing time. And I find that when I want something to happen, it doesn't happen. If I let go and just
Mhm.
relax, all of a sudden it happens.
Yeah. I mean, our brains are literally cloaking and clothing our consciousnesses, our pure love and pure joy.
Yes.
At,
And
at
and
our
and
es-
every cell in the body listens to the brain.
yeah.
So, that for me, that was really, it's just been an amazing journey. Absolutely. And freedom is my key word.
It starts here and starts here in the heart, really.
Yes.
If you can be aware of those scripts that you're writing or programming yourself with, and then because some people then, when they become aware of them, they become aware that they're talking in past tense. So
Yes.
they're stuck in the past, or if they're talking in future tense, they're stuck in anxiety and kind of fear and worry about what's to come, and trying to sort of fit it into these kind of things that haven't existed yet. So being aware of the language that you use, and kind of trying to bring that language into the now, but also if you are talking about kind of negative stuff, to counteract it with a positive afterwards, because then you are in that harmonic. If you're talking too much about one thing, then you're in bias. But if you are counteracting it with the opposite, then you are in that harmonic, you're in the center, but you're also balanced, sort of thing. So bringing people into the present, talking about how they can shape the now and what they're feeling now, and what their aspirations are, is helping oxygenate people's consciousness. It's helping it keep the river alive, full of life and oxygen, and the body and the mind full of momentum, and keeping it moving and living and thriving. It needs that oxygen. And it's the same with the oxygen is our thoughts in a way. It kind of, the quality of the river and the flow of that river of life through you is effectively controlled by the quality of the oxygen or the thoughts in your mind that translate all these frequencies. Some of them are your own, most of them actually are external, and we're like kind of radio receivers picking them up. And a lot of people unfortunately identify with those and say those are my thoughts, and then get into all sorts of troubles. But if you realize it's kind of like weather, and you can pick and choose those thoughts, but also you can shape them, you can control them, and you can reset them with the language that you're using and the way that you're thinking about things. So yeah, but those sort of techniques are really helpful for freeing people up in the mind first of all, and then through the body after.
And Matt, that was really, really meaningful because that's it. You know, it's human nature, or we're brought up to compare ourselves with other people. And when you talk about yourself, oh, it's so egotistic, you know, and we left that a long, 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 long time ago. And I remember I said this before that when I was when I was growing up in California and was having these inner experiences, and I just didn't know, nobody could answer. You know, why am I waking up seeing myself in bed? The religion didn't answer, the philosophy I studied at university didn't answer. I thought there's got to be an answer, you know, and I was always, I'm repeating myself, but I was always being chased in a dream, and I never turned around and looked. And many people have that experience anyway, um, who it was. And then all of a sudden, you know, I'd wake up crying, and mother would come in. I was little. Mother would come in and comfort me, and she said, "Oh, you know, it's only a dream." And there was something inside that said, "Hang on a minute, there's something not right here." And so I had to I had to change my approach. And I thought maybe I can get away from whatever this is behind me by using my turning around backwards and running backwards because my thigh muscles were stronger than my calf muscle. That didn't work. So the final thing was running really, really hard, waking up, rolling off the curb, and waking myself up. And that was life changing because I knew I could do it myself. And then when you start asking for advice and, you know, what am I to do? And it was the 60s, you know, unfortunately, when we got bored, we went out and surfed and had a barbecue. But so many of my friends were just blowing themselves out on drugs. I said, there's got to be an answer. And having a good Christian family, when I grew up, I knew the meaning of saying thy will be done. Because if you say it, hang on. And I stood in the mirror and I said, I have no idea what I'm to do. And I just, you know, thy will be done. Otherwise, I'm out. I don't
It's
want
like kind of being a conduit, really, to, you know, what will be surrendering to, you know,
Yes.
the future in a way, but not putting any kind of script on that. So that's
No,
good. That's good.
exactly. And that's when life started happening because the first thing I left the beach and got connected with a group, and we went up to hear Krishnamurti up in Berkeley, who was the Theosophy was grooming him to come out as the next world teacher.
Right.
He rejected, but he said something that
Good.
I never forgot. He said, "You don't need the teachings, you don't need the masters, you don't need books, you don't need anything. It's all within." And I
Absolutely.
thought, we know it's in, but how do you get there?
Mhm.
And then life happens. And I think that the synchronicities are like the high five from the universe. You know, you have a synchronicity and you think, oh, right. Because you can walk right by your purpose without seeing it. And I
Absolutely.
just love the fact that you know, you wake up, you're grateful for everything. And I think it was about 3 years ago when I learned how to cry when this lockdown happened. And that was the most beautiful thing in the world to just let it out, you know,
Absolutely. You know,
and
one.
realizing that we're all a family and uh, the things that you grow up when you're so close to Hollywood, you know, oh, you don't say this or you don't say that. And you think, well, hang on a minute, you know, look at the footballers. They're all out there loving each other and kissing each other and that's and calling each other love. And you do what your heart tells you. And you can always, I mean, I've learned how to, it's always an up and down,
Yeah.
but that's life.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, you wouldn't discover new lands if you hadn't built new boats, you know, and
Yes.
sailed the new ocean, pushed the boat out, and tried new things. And really, you know, it is everything's from within, literally. And it's a case of just being able to become present, self-aware of what of that weather that's inside you,
Yes.
and then making those active choices, isn't it? In real time, because you're identifying those things that you want to let go of or that you want to encourage more of, sort of stuff. So, and it's always a learning journey. You know, I'm learning still new things, and I love it. I absolutely love learning new things, because there's so much to reality that's out there, you know, and you won't find it if you're waiting for it to come to you. But in
No.
some ways, the more you relax and release all those kind of concepts and scripted thoughts, it actually does come to you, because you're not chasing it. And in a way, it comes to you through sort of a gravity well of you thinking loving thoughts about yourself, and a kind of a more positive outlook. That literally is attracting ether and information and frequency into you.
And I
So
love what Rumi says, which we have all heard many times, about worry is just praying for something that you don't want to happen.
yeah, yeah,
And
absolutely.
really, really just extraordinary.
Which is focusing on that, and actually, you know, in some ways, it takes the same amount of worry as it does to be creative and express yourself. You know, one is of much more benefit to your health and well-being than dwelling in that worry all the time, because actually that on a physics level, it literally does loosen your DNA. So you start breaking down, literally your organs start breaking down, because if you're in stress all the time, you know, you're releasing different chemicals, changing the bonds of your cells, and all sorts of things like that. Living in your joy, whatever that joy is, because it will be unique for you, living in your harmonic self, and sort of living the life that you want to live, with you shaping it and creating it and being allowing it to flow through you, not trying to control it, shaping and nudging and guiding it, then that tightens your DNA and literally increases your well-being, your physical health. So these things will come out as we know more about the new technologies of frequency and vibration and stuff. So, you know, we're all kind of pointing in, I think, in the right direction here.
And
We're all kind of working on ourselves to
I
improve.
remember that the last thing that, according to the teacher, the last thing that was left in Pandora's box was hope.
Hmm.
But each time we say, "Oh, I hope this is going to happen," the higher beings send us more hope. And it's just
Absolutely.
using the right kind of, right kind of language.
As you speak, so shall you create.
Yes, exactly. And it was interesting when I sat down here to get ready for tonight. I thought, oh, I haven't turned my fan on, and it's been quite warm, etc. And all of a sudden, I see what was your name? Sure.
Rover.
Yes. All of a sudden, I see the fan going, and as soon as this may sound really strange, but as soon as I saw that fan going, I felt a whisk of air. I just thought, oh, thank you very much.
Well, it will. You know, we are all interconnected, and we are interconnected on that energy level, and it's very real.
Yes.
And what we're doing is we're all connecting on our heart frequencies here, and so it doesn't surprise me at all. You can do remote healing. That's another effect of energy, that connection through technology, but literally through the universe, actually. So yeah, absolutely doesn't surprise me. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate that. I'm going to move on to Christine now, because you've been patiently waiting to. Hi, how are you? How's your week?
Yeah, week's been good. Like Jane, busy picking fruit and jarring it one way or another, jamming. And in fact, today I went out and I've got 5 hedgerow fruits to go
Ooh,
into one. Yeah. So I got crab apples, sloe, hawthorn, oh, what's the other one? Rosehip and elder.
Oh, lovely. That's going to be so yummy.
Yeah, well, I just sort of Googled and found a recipe, and they do a nice jelly. I've not made a jelly before, so I thought I might try that because I've still got loads of fruit out there. So, but yeah, plum jams I've got lots of.
Well, this is great because actually part of the resilience, part of this group, part of our ethos is to be more self-sufficient. And, you know, people such as yourself, Jane and me, Shareva and others here, we're all producing our own things and using them to, you know, store for the rest of the year. So that means that's saving us a trip to the supermarket each time, you know, and it means that we've got extra resources to, you know, if anything goes awry, you know, to support us, you know. So and eventually I'd love it to be the case that no matter how big or small where you are, you can produce something to make money for yourself or to swap and, you know, as a resource to have for yourself. And then we'll be doing that sort of trading in these community hubs sort of thing. So yeah, absolutely love to hear about people's produce and what they're growing. I've got a tomato plant, but it's a bit weird because it's got it's got like two red ones, but the end ones don't want to go red. There's
Yeah.
like about four, and I'm thinking, do I pick it off the red ones? Oh, I do,
Yes.
Jane. Okay, I'm getting
Yes.
right. Okay, so I shouldn't wait for them all to go red
No.
before, like, gotcha. Okay, well, my mum will be happy because she's a tomato monster. So
You know, Matt, sorry. Yes, you can pick them when they start to blush a little bit, pick them and they'll continue ripening on your countertop.
oh, brilliant! Thank you. I'll do that then. I'll go out and pick a few in the morning.
Otherwise, it's green tomato chutney.
Oh, okay, yeah. It's fascinating growing. This is the first, I think, tomato plant I've grown. So
Oh, well done.
yeah, they take a heck of a lot of water, don't they?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, gosh, there's, you know, all these supermarkets have got those massive kind of greenhouses. They must be literally awash with, you know, water for those things. So interesting.
Yeah. Well, I've had a lot of cabbage and cucumber. I've been eating my own stuff every meal now. Potatoes, I've harvested all of those now. Although I've still got some at home that are in pots outside. But I've started on my courgette tea bread. It's lovely. So, yeah, because I found that recipe, or got to be 10 years ago when I had an influx of courgettes.
A
Horse
bumper
manure
harvest.
helps. Yeah, my horse manure helps. So,
Cool.
but anyway, that's basically what I've been up to all week.
Fab. That's lovely to hear. Thank you. You know, I really want to encourage you, wherever you are, whatever resources you've got, to kind of, you know, grow those and then, you know, use them for yourself or use them for others, because that, you know, we are then in connection with nature as well because we're using those lovely resources that nature provides. And we're also sort of sharing the love as well because, you know, we put a lot of love into the things. I,
Yeah.
my Loganberry jam is like gold dust. You have to be a VIP to have some of my Loganberry jam. I'm hoping to last it out the rest of the year, but I doubt it's going to last the rate that I'm going through it. But yeah, it's nice to have something that you've made and then to be able to share that with love with people, you know, with meals and things like that. So it's all part of that unity consciousness and bringing everyone together kind of thing. How are we doing for time, Jane?
It's 2 minutes to 9, and
Dun,
you haven't
dun,
spoken to
dun.
Tatiana yet.
Oh gosh, yes. Hi, Tatiana.
Uh,
How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Yeah.
Sorry, you're on my screen, my phone. You were on. We've got so many people this
Yeah.
week. It's amazing that you'd skip down the bottom beyond my screen. So thank you, Jane, for reminding me. How have you been? How's life with you? Because you're a Star Teachings long time connector.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I keep following your Telegram I read it every day. Yeah. Um,
So, have you had a good week? Have you been out enjoying yourself in the weather, good weather?
well, this week I started a challenge that I'm walking every day for like half an hour, 1 hour. So I've been enjoying it. It's kind of helps to clear my mind, ground myself, and feeling more positive. Yeah.
Good stuff. I mean, I do a lot of meditation when walking.
Mm.
I'm kind of, and actually, it's an interesting one because in some way you're walking through frequencies as well. So you're picking up more than you would do if you were just sitting at home meditating, kind of thing. So yes, I love walking and meditating, and sometimes I get a bit lost in it, and then realize I have to kind of turn left or turn right or something. So yeah,
Yeah. Well, I've been called to join your meeting because I feel like I want to be surrounded by like-minded people, and I feel a calling that I want to contribute and do something good. Yeah.
brilliant. This is
Yeah.
this what it's all about, and I love the fact that people find us. We just put out what we're about, our kind of frequencies, and then the right people will kind of come to find us when they're in the right space, to want to change and improve, and find people that they can connect with, because a lot of the situation is now I'm speaking with lots of people who are surrounded by people are putting them down and critical, and all those horrible 3D kind of people, and they're now like, well, what am I actually doing here? I thought these people were a certain type of people, but now I've kind of woken up. I can see that they're not. That was an illusion of my own, and these people aren't very positive or supportive of me, and it's a bit of a weird one because they're like, okay, what do I do now? So that's one of also the other reasons why PLC is so good, because what they can do now is come and join us, share their issues, help and get support, information about where they can what they can do next, what's the terrain ahead, kind of thing, and how they can kind of move in the right direction away from those kind of lower frequency and restraining kind of energies, if you like, toxic energies, sort of thing. So, yeah, and if we can support you in any way, do let us know, because that's what we're all about.
Mm.
Good
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. Well, I also wanted to mention that while you were at Shine seminars, I did go to the Wellness Way Festival, if you heard about it.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah, so there was AJ Roberts and Barbara O'Neill, so it was very powerful experience as well,
good,
very inspiring.
good.
Yeah.
I mean, exactly. It's nice to see that there are other events going on with the same ethos, with the same intention and motivations to help each other. So yeah, and I hope that to some extent, I know we're going to see more of those next year. We're going to see more holistic kind of events, as people kind of move away from that 3D stuff. I'm noticing as well the 3D people are going more hedonistic. They're going more into kind of, getting wasted, getting dance parties, actually just still losing themselves. So, that's kind of more concentrating, and it's getting more nefarious, that kind of 3D entertainment world. So, so the more that we can help shift people into that holistic way of putting on events and gatherings and bringing those loving people together to share that, spread that message, the better. So yeah, I wanted to hear a bit more about that wellness event. How Barbara O'Neill, what she said, sort of thing.
Well, she was giving she was very inspiring. She gave very inspiring talks to give power to people to be able to have strength to heal themselves. And she gave basic knowledge about where to start, nutrition, how the body works, and different tips. And there was also Q&A sessions. So it was very useful, yeah. But
Excellent. Well,
besides that, there were lots of other workshops. There are lots of different speakers, very interesting. About plant medicine, I enjoyed, and there was also meditation with AJ Roberts, very powerful breath work, and I enjoyed a lot cacao ceremony with Liam Brown. It was really, really good. I didn't expect it would be so good. And yeah, also in the evenings, people danced, there was music, and they had spa set up, and they had cold swimming in the cold water as well, and lots of different activities. Pottery workshop, and the best thing is they had a forest school for kids. So
oh,
actually,
excellent.
I went with my son. I took my 6-year-old son, so I could sit enjoy my talks, and I could see him from far away there in the forest school playing, and he enjoyed himself there as well.
That's brilliant. You see, I love events like that because you come
Yeah,
away a richer person because you've learned something new through that experience, you know, that you wouldn't have learned if it was kind of a hypothetical on paper exercise, you know. Actually going to these events and putting yourself in that experience means that you learn through that doing, and you come away, you know, going, oh, I could try this, I could do that now, or I
yeah,
know this sort of thing. So very self-empowering. Love it.
yeah. It was very inspiring. Right, yeah.
Good stuff. Thank you,
Mm.
Tatiana. That's brilliant. Well, guys, I think that's everyone we've got to now. Really lovely call, and I really appreciate all this cross sharing of information. You can see why I ask you all about your lives, because you're all so amazing. You're all absolutely doing amazing things. I mean, really, truly amazing. You know, trailblazers, living your authentic joy, working on yourselves, moving up, you know, in the frequencies and helping others along the way. So, you know, long may this continue. We've got more good news next week. I'll in our members call. So I'm looking forward to sharing that with you guys. And yeah, so hopefully you have a lovely week ahead. And we'll catch up next week on the members call. But if not, we'll catch up the week after on the public call as well. So lots of love to you guys.
Great.
Thank you for all coming. And
Thank you, Matt.
have a wonderful week and see you soon. Bye.
Bye.